Hey, how's it going, everyone? So we're back with another tier list. I figured since it is October 10th, just about halfway through the month of October, figured we'll do a bit of a Halloween themed tier list, and we're gonna do the best Halloween candy. And from what I can see, it looks like this person did a pretty good job of nailing all the staples that you typically would see from Halloween. But yeah, and so this tier list I'm going firmly based off of how I feel now, not when I was a kid, but what I would want now as a 28-year-old adult. So let's start. 100 grand. 100 grand bars are decent. I believe it's what, like caramel and like Rice Crisps. So it's I don't even know how to really describe it, but yeah, it's like Rice Crisp is like the main thing, chocolate, and I think caramel or nougat, something along those lines. But yeah, 100 grand is sort of mid for me if I'm being completely honest. And actually, I need to switch these letters around here because they are not correct. Should we do capital C? There we go. But yeah, 100 grand's mid, so middle of the road. I'll keep it more on C. It's one of those things where if I see one and it's like, if it's like 100 grand bar with a whole bunch of like other like mid bars, I might grab it, I might not. Three Musketeers. Oh man, so I used to love Three Musketeers when I was younger. Nowadays, they're alright. They're not the greatest. Personally, 100 grand is gonna have to go on D because Three Musketeers is another mid one. I'd say it's mid, but it's a little bit like it's teetering on B, but it's not quite there. I think they made like a dark chocolate Three Musketeers. Cause I like dark chocolate. Big fan of it. I know people will disagree heavily with me about dark chocolate, but I like it. I get it from my dad. My dad loves dark chocolate too, so I think that's why people just can't eat it because I think they just think it's too like bitter to be like a chocolate. Because dark chocolate, there's just a little bit more cacao and other stuff in it that makes it that sort of bitter flavor, but I like it a lot. Airheads, oh boy. Nowadays, definitely not. Back then, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't care for Airheads at all. And I'm sure people can agree with me, but some people might be like, cancel this man right now because Airheads are the best, but they're not that great. I feel like the flavors of Airheads taste really good, and that's why people like them, but the texture and how it's like a taffy consistency, just not really a fan. Okay, Almond Joy. I'm gonna be completely honest. I really just I don't like a good Almond Joy. So me, if I'm gonna have a type of nut, I prefer for the most part, and geez, I mean I'm gonna be saying nuts, but I prefer to eat these nuts. I prefer to eat nuts without chocolate on them. I prefer like a honey roasted peanut or like a cinnamon covered something like that. And then, but with Almond Joy, they also add in the coconut flavor and factor into the mix, which I think people go to Almond Joys mainly for coconut over anything else. And me, I like the flavor of coconut, but eating like coconut shavings or coconut itself, it's not really my type of thing. Baby Ruth, oh boy. Where are we gonna put a Baby Ruth? I'd say Baby Ruth sits. Yeah. If I'm being honest, Three Musketeers is where it's gonna sit. Baby Ruth, they're good. Like them a lot. But not really all there. If you know what I'm saying. Like, people probably love Baby Ruths. Me, they're whatever. Butterfingers. Oh boy. Butterfingers are interesting because me growing up, I was very picky, and so I didn't like trying very many things. And then I realized that Butterfingers are, I mean, it's chocolate and peanut and like peanut, but Butterfingers, they just have like the texture. I think that's what people like about Butterfingers is they like that texture where it's you bite into it, the chocolate melts, but the inside is a little bit of a harder surface, and it doesn't melt as easy, and so they get that crunch. But I don't know. I'd say it's like a C, if I'm being honest. Very mid for me. All right, here comes the hot take of the video here. Candy corn is a B for me, personally. Yes, over candy corn over all of this. 100%. Candy corn for me, I think it's one of those things where you love it or you don't, and it also is you had it as a kid or you didn't, and that's sort of what determines people who like it or not. If you had it as a kid, then I'd say 90% of people will probably like it. And I'm saying like, not like tried as a kid, but I'm saying like ate. Like, at least like a mini bag of them in one sitting as a kid. If you've done that, you probably at least like the stuff. But yeah, not too much more talk about candy corn because people like it or they don't. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so Crunch is interesting, right? So let me just say, I like just about everything here on this list, if I'm being completely honest. So Crunch, I enjoy it if it's in the movie theater style. So I think it's called Bunch of Crunch. It's in a box, and it's got little pieces of crunch essentially, instead of it in a bar. I prefer to eat it like that. I think it's really good. But overall, Crunch Bar, bit okay. I'll put it in B because I would say, for me, at times it's mid, but other times it's above mid, and actually, it's one of those candy bars where it's got to be the right moment, and it'll hit perfect. Dots, don't need to talk too much about those. They're pretty trash, if I'm being honest. Fun Dip, nowadays, no shot. I would eat it. It's good, but the amount of sugar that's in that, yeah, whatever. Yes, and I am speeding through some of these other ones that I really just don't care about. When it comes to Halloween candy, I'm more of a chocolate kind of guy than a fruit kind of guy. So yeah. Haribo, what they call gummy bears? Yeah. D. If you're gonna have a bear or something like that, get like a Welch's fruit snack or whatever if you want some fruit flavor with chew, because it's gonna be better. Heath bars, okay. It's one of those where it's below mid, but it's not like I'm gonna pass on it. It's one of those where it's like, well, if it's all I have to eat, sure, I'll eat it. But like I said, if there's a Butterfinger, or, one of these in the bag, I'm gonna eat those over a Heath. Hershey's Original Milk Chocolate Bar. Very classic. I do like a good milk chocolate bar every once in a while. But we're gonna put it at B. I'd say it's a high B, but not A. That's for sure. If there was a dark chocolate Hershey's bar, I'd put it right here. Okay, so for all you dark chocolate lovers out there, I'm gonna give you my opinion on my two favorite dark chocolates, just real quick. My number one is Dove dark chocolate. Number two is Hershey's, and like the bar dark chocolate. Those are my two favorites. And then like, the fancier chocolates, like a Ferrero or a Lindt, stuff like that during the holidays. Their dark chocolate's pretty good, but I think it's just a little too bitter for me. But I'll still eat it. But moving on, hot tamales. I've never really been a hot / spice kind of guy my whole life. But hot tamales aren't bad. But I'll put them at C. They're pretty high mid, but they're not that great. Jelly beans. I don't give a shit about jelly beans if I'm being completely honest. Same thing with Jolly Ranchers, but they're better than jelly beans. Jolly Ranchers are good. I'm not a fan of hard candies. If I'm in the mood and I want like a flavor to suck on or something like that, that's what she said. Again, comment all your sexual innuendos down below. But yeah, if I want to suck on something fruity, sure. And wow, that was really bad. Moving on. Hershey Kisses, I guess I'll put next to the Hershey bar. It's just Hershey milk chocolate shaped in a different form. That's all it comes down to. But with the Kisses, if we're including like a caramel filling or maybe like a mint type flavor, they might go a little bit higher, but the originals are still pretty damn good. Kit Kat, excuse me. Kit Kat is easily an A for me. I think it has a lot to do with influence on my mom. My mom's favorite candy is Kit Kat. So obviously I had a lot of Kit Kats growing up. But they're damn good, man. Like I said earlier about like the Butterfinger, I think people like it because it's got the melted chocolate on the outside, but once you bite into it, it's a crunch and it tastes good as well. Like it hits all the right senses for us as people. Lifesavers, hard candy. The fruit ones are meh. The mint ones I actually think are pretty decent. I'd say high mid. Not quite, definitely not a B, but it's sitting pretty solid in the C category for sure. When I was a kid, I would always eat, personally, the green ones because they were a lot more flavorful, but they were still minty. The blue ones were for like older gentlemen who had to go to like day jobs, and if they had like coffee breath, the blue ones were the ones that you would eat. It's sort of the same thing as like getting a Crest mouthwash, where when you swish it feels good in the mouth, and then you try a Listerine mouthwash where it's got alcohol in it and it burns your mouth and you can feel it killing the bacteria. That's the difference between the green and the blue Lifesavers. All right, so we got a picture of suckers. So I'm assuming just Tootsie Pops, any type of suckers, stuff like that. They're meh, whatever. If you've noticed, all the hard candies are kind of just going right here. Like I said, suckers are good to obviously suck on. Me, I would suck it all the way to the stick. I'm not going to bite down onto it because my teeth aren't that great to start with. But yeah, they're all right. Peanut M&Ms. So peanut M&Ms are definitely a B tier for sure. Me personally, I like the peanut butter M&Ms over peanut M&Ms, but peanut M&Ms are still very good. Regular chocolate M&Ms, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, it's been a while since I've had them, and well, no, maybe like, yeah, I think last weekend I bought a Planters thing, a trail mix. It was like a peanut trail mix, and it had peanut M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms, honey roasted, peanuts, um, pecans, and possibly regular M&Ms. But I mean, regular M&Ms are kind of, they're not as good as peanut M&Ms. I mean, I think people would definitely agree with me. They're middle of the road for me. Mike and Ike. So Mike and Ike's are decent. They're actually a pretty good. I like fruit snacks a lot. And actually, here's the Welch's right here. I'll put the Welch's right here. Fruity type flavors I really enjoy if they're more chewy than crunchy. That's why I kind of like, obviously the Welch's, the Mike and Ike's. We might as well go through the rest of the fruit flavors here. So what do we got? Starburst, original Starburst. I'd say they're in C. Kind of a hot take. I actually really enjoy the yellow ones. I think most people, that's their like least favorite flavor, and I like them. I understand why people like the pink ones so much. They're really good too. But yellow is also very good. Sour Patch Kids. Oh man, Sour Patch Kids are really good. Like, just by the name alone, if you want something sour, it'll do. And then they taste really good too, but it's so much sugar. Swedish Fish, if I'm being honest, they're good, but compared to like a Mike and Ike or a Starburst, Swedish Fish has a huge downfall because they've only got, I'm sure they have different flavors now, but if we're talking original versus these, it's one flavor versus multiple flavors, and I think that's just why these are higher. But Swedish Fish are really good too. Nerds are kind of ass if I'm being completely honest. They're okay, but yeah, I can do without them for sure. Fruit flavored Skittles. Skittles are a little bit better, but they're still hard. It's another hard candy. Not really into Skittles. I honestly can't tell you the last time I've had Skittles. I remember when Skittles had the gum, and I used to get that a lot. That stuff was pretty good. But yeah. We might as well put fruits and freaking vegetables in F, because fuck you if you do that. Trolley. Gummy worms. Ooh. If I'm being honest, I'm going to put them next to Sour Patch Kids because they're like Sour Patch Kids, but they're also very different, if that makes sense. Another hard candy, Rain Pops. I really don't give a shit about Rain Pops. They're more of just a what am I trying to say here? They're like a gag gift sort of situation. Like, really? Like, yeah, it's cool. You get to wear your piece of candy that's, making you have diabetes, but cool, I guess. I put Rolos here. I don't like Rolos. I don't like Milk Duds. I should have probably just put everything I don't like at the bottom. I don't give a shit about Tootsie Rolls. Don't care about Whoppers. Alright, I think the rest of these I can rate. Alright, Milky Ways. Milky Way. Middle of the road. Personally. But like I've said before, if there's a Milky Way in the bag, and that's the best thing in there, I'll eat it. Sure. Pretzels. I mean, it's not candy, if I'm being honest. But who doesn't like a decent pretzel? It's for the parents too. We're gonna skip through some of the heavy hitters. So Reese's Pieces. I gotta put at D. I recently had these, and the reason they're in D is because they're good to chew on. They taste good, but for some reason, when I'm eating them, it's like they leave some sort of like residue or film like all throughout my mouth that feels like, I don't know how to explain it, like, but it leaves like a bit of a taste and a bit of a filmy sort of residue in my mouth, and I'm not a fan. Ooh, forgot about the Smarties. Smarties for a hard candy? Not bad. I think I'm putting them higher. Actually, let me put one higher just to piss people off. Smarties are decent. I'm putting them this high because of the package size. Yes, they're a hard candy. Yes, they don't really taste like much, but it's a small package. Like, this packaging can fit in the palm of my hand, and I'll be able to eat all of them. I won't get upset about the fact that I ate so much candy because it's not a lot, and it'll be all right. Toothbrush, fuck you if you have ever done that. York peppermint patty, D, if I'm being honest. Peppermint flavor is good, but it's got to be hitting just right. I think a more fancy version of this is better. Twizzlers. It's between Twizzlers and Red Vines. Comment below if you're a Twizzlers guy or a Red Vines guy. Me personally, for texture, color, flavor, I personally like Red Vines because Twizzlers, it's like a waxy type of texture. Red Vines, it may be still a little bit waxy, but it's I think it just tastes a little bit better. Alright, so me personally, these are like the heavy hitters for or I guess these four, like these three plus Kit Kat are like the four heavy hitters of Halloween candy. Okay, so Twix. We're gonna start with Twix. Twix is an A, 100%. Twix, I love them so much because it's got the melty chocolate on the outside, it's got the crunch of the bar on the inside, and then just to add everything on top, it's got caramel in it. And the caramel stretch, eating the Twix, I mean, it's great. I remember when Twix made a peanut butter Twix, and it was a dark chocolate Twix bar with the cookie in the center, and instead of caramel, it was peanut butter. It was peanut butter, and man, was it good. It hit so good. All right, Snickers. S tier. 100%. I don't know who thought of the idea to mix chocolate, caramel, and peanuts together, but hats off to you, sir, because it made something really well. And number 1, the peanut butter cup. Everybody's favorite. Reese's, however you say it. The Reese's peanut butter cup, in my eyes, is the king of Halloween candy. But yeah, this is my list. Agree or disagree? Let me know. Also, comment down below what your favorite Halloween candy is, because I would like to see if there's anybody out there who watches my videos that enjoys any of these. I'm sure, but I guess yeah, just comment, let me know what your favorite Halloween candy is. If you enjoy these types of videos, consider subscribing. The channel's starting to grow. We're getting closer to 1,500 subscribers. Possibly by the time this video comes out, we'll be there. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one.